So what is the dealing room operation? So in this session we will complete the dealing room operation. It is the part of your bank finance management first unit. So friends, what is the dealing room operation and what is the dealing room consist of? So friends, see, the dealing room mainly consists of the front office, back office and the mid office. It is very simple, right? So dealing room basically it is consist of three parts, right? Very first is the front office, second is the back office and third is the mid office. Okay, now what is the work of the front office? See, front office, that means front end, right? So what is the front office do? It does the sale and purchase of the foreign currency. That means front office is actually a front line, right? On a front line, front office does the transaction in the foreign currency. Okay, now second, what actually the back office does? See friends, back office do the work of reconciliation, processing of the deals and accounting. That means basically all the back office work is done by the back office, right? For that is mainly a reconciliation of statements, processing of the deals or accounting part. And third is the mid office. So M stands for mid office and M stands for the management, right? So very important, easy to remember. The work of mid office is very important friends, because see, the work of mid office is consist of mainly the risk management. It also ensures the compliance and it also reports to the management, that is reporting to the management. So these are some work of the mid office. So just remember, front office, back office and mid office are part of the dealing room. Front office actually do the transaction, sale and purchase of the transaction, and back office do the all the back office work regarding to reconciliation and processing. And mid office does the work like important work, actually it is the it ensures the compliance, risk management and also reporting, right? So that part is performed by the mid office. So friends, now see, what are the main functions of the dealing room? We all know generally the buying and selling of the currency. Very first important function is in the forex by the dealing room is the buying and the selling of the currencies. And second, it also maintain the two type of position, very important. What are the two types of position maintained by the dealing room? We all know very first function is the purchase and selling of the currency, but second is the it also maintain the two types of position. Very first is the funds position and second position is called as the currency position. So what do you mean by funds position? Basically it is the inflow and outflow of the funds. It is the inflow and outflow of the funds, and whereas currency position, it is due to the oversold or the overbought currency, that is actually a currency position. So friends, see, when there is a mismatch in the inflow and outflow of the fund, that result in the interest rate risk. It is result in the interest rate risk, important for the MCQ point of view. And the second, currency position, right? It is due to the oversold or overbought of the currency, and it may result into the foreign currency rate fluctuation risk. It may result into the foreign currency rate fluctuation risk, right? And the currency position, it is also called as the exchange position. It is also called as the exchange position. So we have now taken overview of the dealing room operation, but actually see, in a diagrammatic format you can easily understand. See friends, suppose this is your branch or a bank branch you are working. Suppose this is the SBI branch, right? And generally the customer approaches to the bank, like for example, customer may we take importer or a exporter, right? They come to a branch, right? And here is your SBI bank branch. Now see friends, how the bank is directly dealing with the that D stands for dealing room, that D stands for dealing room, and it consists of front office, mid office and the back office. But the front office only directly dealing with the forex market, and the mid office doing the all the back office work, mid office is back office is doing the all back office work, and mid office doing only all the management work, that is management of the risk, and also ensures the compliance. So very important, through diagrammatic you can easily remember. Okay friends, now we have taken the overview of the dealing operation. Now our next task is to study the next theoretical part. So friends, see here, what is the valuation of the forex profit and loss, how the valuation should be done. Just remember one line: valuation of a forex position should be done at the end of each month. That means it is generally done on the at the last day of month, last day of working month. That is, valuation of a forex profit and loss should be done at the end of each month. Okay, now we have to study the management and control of the dealing room, how the dealing room should be managed and controlled. And when there is word management and control, basically we are studying the risk in the forex operation. Basically we are studying the major risk in the forex operation. So what are that risks? See friends, very first is the exchange risk. It may arise, generally exchange rate arises due to the fluctuation in the exchange rate. Very simple, common sense you can apply. Exchange risk, that means exchange, that when there is a fluctuation in the exchange rate, there is a risk of exchange risk. And when a position in a foreign currency is maintained by a dealing room, right, that we have already studied. But what is that actually a position? See, exchange risk generally due to the fluctuation in the exchange rate, and when a position in a foreign currency maintained by a dealing room. Right, what do you mean by position maintained by dealing room? That means they have suppose taken a position that we have to buy or we have to sell, right? Depending on that position, that may be a risk called as the fluctuation in the exchange rate, that is the exchange risk. Now what is that actually a position? That position can be, very first, it is long. Very important. What do you mean by long? Right, MCQ point of view, it is very important. What do you mean by long? See, long means you are buying more than selling. Long means you are buying more than selling. That is nothing but the overbought position. And short means you are selling more than buy. So it is called as the oversold position. That is very important. This is very important MCQ point of view. Right, that is very important according to a point of MCQ view. So friends, see, what do you mean by long? When there is a more buying than selling. And in this case, in a longer case, loss may occur if the exchange rate declines. That means if you have purchased 500 and if you have sold 200, right, and if exchange rate declines, then you will have more loss, right? You are getting, suppose you have dollar and Indian rupees, right? If you have purchased $500 and you have sold only 200 Indian rupees, just for example, then it may occur a loss. Obviously, if you are buying more foreign currency and selling less Indian currency, domestic currency, you will have the loss if the exchange rate declines. Okay, now see, second, short. What do you mean by short? When there is a more sell than purchase, and if exchange rate increases. Very important friend, these two lines are very most important in this video because they can frame up any type of question from that. How can the, if you sell is more than purchase, and if the exchange rate increases, then there may be a loss, right? See, for example, if you have sold 500 of rupees, $500. Suppose you have sold $500 and you have purchased instead of sold, you can take any currency. You can take a simple currency. If you have sold 500 and you have purchased 100, right? So if your sale is more, then you can think that our sale is more, then it may be a profit. But if exchange rate increases, that means suppose 500 currency you have sold 1 rupee for 1 at a 1 unit, so 500 rupees you will gain and 100 rupees you will lose. But in the case where currency rate exchange rate increases, that means if you have not sold 500, if you have sold only 400, if the exchange rate has been increased, then for the remaining 100 you can sold at it as more price. Basically, just remember the words: long, that means overbought; short, that means oversold. And in case of long, it may occur loss if the exchange rate declines, and in case of short, you may occur a loss if exchange rate increases. Okay, see friends, just remember this chart because it is very important. That's why I am repeatedly explaining. Long, this is the long and this is the short, right? In case of long, what is the position? It is called as long. That's why it is buy is more than sell. In case of short, yes, you can just remember yes for yes, so sell is more than buy. And here loss, when there is a loss can occur in case of long when exchange rate declines, and in case of short when exchange rate increases, loss can occur. Okay, so this table you have to remember. This is the most important for your exam point of view and MCQ point of view. Okay, now we have to see the next part, right? What is that? That is the exposure. What is the forex exposure and how it is classified? Remember friends, forex exposure is basically classified into 3 categories. Very first is the operating, it is called as the economic exposure. Second is the translation exposure, and third is the transaction exposure. Now we will study one by one each in detail. So very first we will study the exposure, forex exposure. Basically what we are studying, the forex exposure. Forex exposure we are studying. So in a forex exposure, see friends, very first is the operating exposure, or it is also called as the economic exposure. So friends, what do you mean by operating or the economic exposure? Remember friends, it generally arises due to the operating environment. It is very important. Many people don't know how it arises. So remember, one liner MCQ, they may ask, the operating exposure arises due to, remember, it is due to the operating environment only. So friends, see it, and remember, it does not arise due to the position in the foreign currency. That means how much you are buying or selling, it does not affect the operating exposure, but only affect is the operating environment. Okay, now take an example. Through example you can easily understand. See, suppose there is a company ILU Limited, and it generally export 80% of its product to the England. Okay, and but what happened, the England government increased the import duty, right? Suppose one company, suppose we can say Reliance company is generally exporting 80% of its good to the England, but what happened, actually the England government has increased the import duty. That will what happen, then it result into the, it will affect the cash flow of ILU Limited. That means due to the less demand, right? Suppose this is the ILU company, and generally it export 80% of goods to the England, and if the England government has has increased the import duty, then goods will be costly, so less people will buy, so that will definitely affect the cash flow of ILU Limited. That means there is a not involvement in any foreign currency position, only the environment has been changed. That is rules and regulation basically. That's why the operating, that is called as the operating or the economic exposure. Okay, next task, we have to understand the transaction exposure. So it is very simple to understand transaction exposure. When there is a transaction, it is a transaction exposure, right? It arises due to the normal business operation, right? It is very simple. Transaction exposure is due to the mainly the foreign currency transaction, and as a result of a change in a foreign currency rate. See, for example, if you have spot purchase, you have purchased 1000 US dollar at 87.89 on suppose July 12, and you have sold it on July 14 immediately at 87.99. That means you have gain of around 0.1 points. But it is not fixed that you will gain, right? On July 15 you may get more gain. That means you have exposure basically due to the transaction. Just remember, in a transaction exposure, it is arises due to the normal business operations as a result of a change in foreign currency rates. Next is very important, friends, translation exposure. What do you mean by translation exposure? It arises due to the valuation of a foreign currency assets and liabilities. Remember, right? Remember, friends, generally our banks also do valuation of our assets and liability, right? In the same case, in the case of forex also, we have to do the valuation of the foreign currency assets and liabilities at the current exchange rate at the current accounting year. We will read again. What is the translation exposure? It arises due to the valuation of foreign currency assets and liabilities position at the current exchange rate and at the current accounting year. Okay, what do you mean by that? See here, through example you can easily understand. See, suppose you have purchased through 2 months of forward purchase of 10,000 US dollar at the rate of 87.9 on March 15. On March 15 you have purchased, right? And suppose this is to be delivered on the May 15. That means how much month are in between purchase and delivery? April, 1 month is there, April, and in May you have to deliver. Okay, but our as per the rule, as per the FEDI rule, on 31st March you have to do the asset liability valuation, right? At the end of every month, that I have already learned. But on 31st March, on 15th March rate was the 87.9, and you have to deliver on March 15, right? So it is the future contract or forward contract, but in between the purchase and the delivery, the date is 31st of March. As per and 30 on 31st March the rate quoted was the 87.70. that means you have purchased at 87.90, but as per the rules you have to do the valuation on 31st March. So on 31st March rate was 87.70. that means you have a loss. On paper you have loss, but you have to so you have to sell it, and in future you may get a profit, but at the price of current valuation it is a loss, and that exposure it is called as the translation exposure. Okay, it is clear. In a simple word, suppose you have purchased this pen at 5 rupees on March 15. Okay, and you have to so you have to sell this pen on April 15 for the 10 rupees, but you have to do the valuation of the pen on March 31st, and if the valuation of the pen on March 31st is 4 rupees, then you can say there is a loss. That exposure basically it is called as the translation exposure, because at the end of every month you have to do the valuation of profit and loss. Okay, and this is called as the translation exposure. Remember, friends, what do you mean by notional? And remember, translation exposure, it is a notional. They may ask one liner MCQ. This is very important. Which of the following is notional? So translation exposure is a notional. What do you mean by notional? Notional, that means in a forex it means total value at the current rate. It means total value at the current rate. What do you mean by current rate? Just we have studied here, right? On 31st March, that is current rate was the 87.70. So valuation on 31st March at the rate of 87.70, it is nothing but the notional. It is the notional value. It is the notional value. Notional, that means basically at a current rate. Just remember, at the current rate. Okay, so which of the following is notional? They will ask one liner MCQ. Which of the following is notional? Operating, translation, or transaction? So remember, translation exposure is the notional. Okay, and one important line on a maturity date. That means what is the maturity? Here May 15. Maturity is May 15. Okay, on maturity date it will get converted to a transaction exposure. How? See, on a maturity date, suppose here May 15. On May 15 you have to actually deliver the currency. That means the transaction will complete That's why it is called as the on maturity date it will get converted into the transaction exposure. So in this way we have completed the theory part of our very first unit, that is the forex in the bank finance management. We will continue our discussion in the next lecture.